beautiful buds. Welcome to Joy with Jazita, and today we are going to talk about a beautiful book called The Highly Sensitive Person, written by a marvelous soul, Ma'am Elaine Aron. Let's get started. In this book, she's exploring every trait of a highly sensitive person. Okay, the very line, how to thrive when the world overwhelms you. Oh my god, this line literally made me go crazy. Literally. Because just this line sums it all up. And she's talking about childhood, either good or bad, and she's intersecting the childhood points along with the development of a personality of an HSP. She's also saying that there's nothing bad that a person should feel about how they feel things, probably how sensitively they feel things, because the world makes you feel otherwise, and that's not how you should be feeling. All right, and you will sense it in every chapter you read, in every line you read, that she's telling you to honor yourself for being sensitive. She's telling you to wear your sensitivity as a badge to yourself, and she's telling you not to feel bad about why you don't feel or process things the way 85% of the population do. And she's putting an HSP parallelly in contrast with the world, and that's a very beautiful context that she has clearly represented in the book. A person needs to feel and read about that, to feel really good about themselves. Every time, by every passing chapter, time and again, she makes you remember that you shouldn't be feeling wrong about the way you feel things, the way you feel the lives that are surrounded by you, the emotions of love, anger, sadness, every spectrum of emotions. She says to feel all in its glory that you actually feel. She's also talking about neurotically how the brain of an HSP is quite different with the people who don't feel things such a way. Isn't that beautiful? Cheers to Eleanor Ma'am, who has dedicated her 30 years of life in discovering and exploring the concept of highly sensitive person. She is talking about each and every tiny detail, the smallest ones and the larger ones, that needed to be precisely put into an expression, into words, of the whole process that an HSP goes through, from day-to-day life, from any social event, from the me time that they want, and the way, the time they need to process things. She's talking about everything. She has written other books in context with the HSP, like this book talks about how to thrive in a world when it overwhelms you. She has written about what happens when an HSP falls in love, how to go about that. So with the childhood, with a good childhood, without a good childhood, and in love, she's talking about every range of emotion that an HSP feels intensely about. Isn't that gorgeous? And actually, you shouldn't be feeling bad about how you feel and process things. And she has put up a very colorful and a very, very beautiful representation of how you should feel proud about the way you feel. How should you feel completely at peace with the way you feel things. Moreover, she's adding extra stars to your shoulders, that you are special and you are totally fine and you are beautiful exactly the way you feel. So you should not be beating yourself up that you feel too much and others don't, and this and that. So you shouldn't be putting yourself in the comparison scale, first of all. So yeah, she has explored it all. Mainly the most beautiful part is where she talks about childhood and how HSP just learns things from the environment, grasps things from the environment, and there is this memory that stays. And then she talks about some awkward moments whenever an HSP has faced, and she's talking about an introverted HSP and she's talking about an extroverted HSP. She's talking about it all. I'm not going to give spoilers in here because I really want to make sure that people read this beautiful book. So I would like to appreciate and take this moment to thank Ilan Aron ma'am to make the world a more beautiful place. Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay, thank you for watching, and if you want to listen to this in Spanish, keep listening. La persona altamente sensible no debería sentirse mal por lo que siente y cómo se siente. Este es un hermoso mensaje dado por Elaine Aron en este libro. Ella está cruzando la infancia de un pasado con la construcción de su personalidad y la forma en que sienten las cosas y la vida. Ella es la persona que ha dedicado 30 años de su vida a descubrir el pasado y le dice a los humanos en todo el mundo que honren su sensibilidad y la forma en que se sienten, y no al revés. Ella habla brevemente sobre cómo se siente el pase en público y cuánto tiempo necesitan ellos solo de manera regular. Ella pone en contraste el escenario del mundo y el paz en paralelo y habla de manera imparcial al respecto. Saludos a la hermosa alma Elaine Aron. Gracias por ver mis videos. Suscríbete y compartir.